What would you do if the person you loved most started treating you like you were invisible? One day he couldn't take his eyes off me, and the next, it was like I didn't even exist. All because I asked for something so simple, something so basic in a relationship. I told him to stop flirting with other women, and instead of listening, he chose silence. He chose distance. He chose to punish me. This is my story. When I first met Daniel, he was magnetic, the kind of man who could walk into any room and instantly draw people in. He was charming, funny, and he made me feel like I was the only woman in the world. Our first dates were filled with laughter, long walks, late-night talks, dreams whispered over coffee. It felt like a movie, the kind of love story people wait their whole lives for. But somewhere in the middle of all that perfection was a flaw I didn't want to see. Daniel was too friendly with other women, a hand on the arm that lingered too long, compliments whispered a little too often, inside jokes with women at work, messages that came late at night. At first, I told myself, he's just a naturally friendly guy. Don't overthink it. But, slowly, those moments stopped feeling harmless. Everywhere we went, I noticed it. At restaurants, he'd charm the waitress. At parties, he'd laugh a little too hard at another woman's jokes. And online, he'd leave comments, little winks, inside references that didn't include me. Friends noticed too. They'd tease me, "Wow, Daniel's really popular with the ladies." I laughed along, but inside it stung. I started asking myself, am I crazy? Am I insecure? But the knot in my stomach grew tighter, and finally, I couldn't hold it in anymore. One evening, we were sitting at home. The perfect chance. No distractions, just us. I took a deep breath and said softly, "Daniel, I need to talk to you about something that's been bothering me." He looked at me curiously, and I continued, "I need you to stop flirting with other women. It hurts me. It makes me feel invisible." For a moment, silence. Then his face changed. First shock, then defensiveness. He scoffed, "You're overreacting." "I'm just being nice. You're too sensitive." But I didn't back down. I looked him in the eye and said, "No. Respect means respecting how I feel too." And that's when it happened. The shift. He didn't argue. He didn't fight. He just shut down. The next day, he was cold. The day after that, distant. And then, nothing. No texts, no hugs, no questions about my day. Just silence. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. And suddenly, I was living with a man who treated me like a stranger. And the worst part? I caught myself apologizing. Apologizing for asking to be respected. Apologizing for wanting to feel seen. Late at night, lying awake in bed beside him, I wondered, did I ruin everything? Am I too jealous? Too demanding? The guilt ate at me. I started replaying the conversation over and over, searching for the mistake. But no matter how many times I replayed it, the truth was clear. Asking someone you love not to flirt with others, that's not wrong. That's not controlling, that's respect. He wasn't punishing me because I was wrong. He was punishing me because I finally drew a line, because I dared to say, enough. One morning, I looked at myself in the mirror and barely recognized the woman staring back. I had become a ghost in my own relationship. Quiet, diminished, invisible. And in that moment, something inside me snapped. I realized I deserved better. So I stopped chasing him. I stopped begging for scraps of attention. Instead, I poured into myself. I went out with friends. I picked up old hobbies. I laughed again. I felt alive again. And that's when he noticed. Suddenly, Daniel wanted to talk. Suddenly, he wanted to reconnect. But I couldn't help asking myself, does he miss me? Or does he just miss the control he once had over me? If you've ever been made to feel guilty for setting a boundary, listen to me. You are not the problem. You are not too much. And you are not wrong for asking for respect. As for Daniel, maybe we'll figure things out. Or maybe this is the beginning of the end. But one thing is certain. I will never let myself be invisible again, because now I know my worth, and no one, not even the person I love, can take that away from me.